Good morning, 26th of November, 2025. The war in Ukraine is over. The reason it's over is because they've run out of money. They've run out of weapons. The only thing they haven't run out of is propaganda and young men. So young men are still dying because propaganda says the war's going on. Thank God for people like Trump, who's actually managed to broker a deal. Interestingly enough, the United Kingdom and Europe were caught sleeping. Now they're desperate to make Zoom calls to catch up. Or was it too late for the warmongers who wanted it to continue? The EU and NATO, if Russia win this, which they will, become irrelevant. That's what they're fighting for. Not Ukraine. They don't care about Ukraine, really. NATO and the EU become completely irrelevant when this is all over. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning, Charlie. Well, just speaking on that subject, diplomatic efforts to end the war in the Ukraine are moving forwards. Today, US and Russian officials are meeting in Abu Dhabi, while Keir Starmer is hosting a virtual session with Ukraine's allies. Ukrainian President Zelensky could also meet US President Trump in the coming days. These talks follow weeks of negotiations over a US-backed peace plan. Zelensky says the updated plan now includes many of the right elements, though Russia has said it still doesn't meet their requirements. The coming meetings aim to find common ground and move closer to the final agreement. Charlie, I saw one of the Ukrainian changes. It was basically total amnesty for all war crimes on the Ukrainian side.
Yeah, and it's very interesting how arrogant Zelensky's become. And that's not him. He's a puppet. That's NATO and the EU trying to save face, because they've lost this. Russia have gained so much control. It's embarrassing now. They've taken far more than they ever wanted. They never wanted all of this. They wanted to shut down the bioweapons factories, and they wanted to stop the human trafficking. That's the truth, allegedly. But because Zelensky was so determined with the EU and with NATO, which, by the way, it's time that people ask the question, why is NATO involved when Ukraine is not a member of NATO? Never has been, never will be. Why are they involved? Just asking for a friend. Drew?
Well, following on from that, Charlie, and good morning, Charlie, Paul and everyone. Migrant men are being moved from hotels to military sites across the UK. A shift at Middleton has been open and local about. Allegedly, they also have their weapons ready from the UK government.
Very important point, Drew. And Ant Middleton, former SAS military man, is all over this. Do your own research, because these young men are not migrants as you've been told by the government. Doesn't matter whether it's Labour or Conservative, they're all involved. These people were brought into the country to cause trouble. Allegedly. The whole idea of this, I told you 5 years ago, they want to shut down the world's economy. They wanted it for a one world government, so that the government in the UK, nobody would vote for either side. Well, they've achieved that, because nobody will vote for Labour, nobody will vote for Conservative, because they're both cheeks of the same backside. But then what? They wanted to bring in a one world government. That's what they wanted. So what they do is destabilise the UK. And what Drew pointed out there, we've moved to the next level. They're moving them out of hotels into military bases where they've got access to military equipment. Allegedly. This is a very dangerous time for the UK in the collapse of the old system. It's time to wake up and stand up. Paul?
Well, Reports are coming in that the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CARE, and the Muslim Brotherhood are accused of coordinating political efforts in the US, including mobilizing mosques, advocacy groups, and a super PAC to influence elections. Investigations in California allege CARE misused funds intended for Afghan refugees and supported campus activism. While some state officials, including in Texas, have labelled the groups as terrorist organisations, citing concerns over attempt to influence local government and promote Sharia law.
There is so much going on now that is being exposed. The first stage was to wake up to something being wrong. That's the first stage. The second stage is seeing the detail of what's going wrong. And this is all about this election interference and the corruption that's going on. The light is exposing the darkness. The darkness has always been there, but now we can see it. Beforehand, we were living in the dark. We couldn't see it. But now the light is exposing them. Don't be scared, but be aware. Be aware of what's going on. I've told you 1,000 times, you're watching a movie. This is all the movie. For those people who are awake, it's a movie to help you to get others to see what's going on. For those who are asleep, it'll be a bit of a shock when you first wake up. A bit like Drew at 5 o'clock this morning.
And next up, Charlie, Russia is moving to crush its shadow economy, with Russia's finance minister announcing plans to clamp down on undeclared cash, regulate crypto mining through a national registry, and tighten oversight on imports and retail, all to boost tax revenue and force more of the economy into the open.
And my final story of the day. Allegedly, Israel is being exposed. It's being exposed as a lawless, genocidal country, outside the rest of the laws and rules of the rest of the world. The rest of the world has to comply with the Treaty for Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. Not involved in that. The only country in the world that's not. And they always denied having them, until Iran was provoking them. And then they turned around to America and said, if you don't deal with Iran, we will wipe them out with a nuclear weapon, which apparently they never had, allegedly. The light is exposing the darkness. It'll be a big surprise to a lot of people as people wake up to see what's actually going on. But I told you 3 or 4 years ago, Israel will be last. And Iran will take out Israel. Seems like it's happening. And that was the news. On the 26th of November 2025, we'll see you this evening for the Insiders Club. Don't miss it. See you later.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Noble Gold. Real assets. Real value. Your wealth protected.